Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a hidden universe that's inside every single one of us. A world that might just be pulling the strings on our emotions way more than we ever imagined. So let's just start with a pretty provocative question, right? Is your mood really your own? Or could it be influenced, maybe even dictated, by trillions of tiny tenants living inside of you? To get a sense of just how influential these tenants are, you have to get this. It's estimated that around half, 50% of the cells in your body, well, they aren't human at all. They're microbes. So in a very real way, you're just as much microbe as you are human. Okay, so it's time to properly meet these secret rulers. The trillions upon trillions of microorganisms that have set up shop in and on our bodies and have been with us since the very dawn of our species. The numbers here are they're staggering. We're talking about an estimated 39 trillion microorganisms. I mean, that's a number so big, it's hard to even wrap your head around. It's thousands of times more than all the stars in our galaxy, and all of them live right inside you. Now, this entire community, it has a name. It's called the microbiome. And please don't think of it as just a random collection of germs. No. It's a highly organized, super complex system. In fact, a lot of scientists are now calling it a newly discovered organ with its own critical jobs that affect everything from digestion to, you guessed it, your mood. And this brings us to one of the most exciting ideas in modern science, the gut-brain superhighway. And that's not just a cute metaphor. It's a very real, very busy communication network that's sending messages back and forth between your gut and your brain 24/7. This communication highway has four main lanes. Your gut can talk to your brain through a direct nerve connection, like a telephone wire. It can talk through your hormones, it can send signals through your immune system, and it can even sense chemicals that your bacteria literally cook up directly to your brain. It's an incredibly sophisticated system. And if you're skeptical about how powerful these messages are, check out this landmark study. Scientists took the gut microbiome from humans who had depression and put it into healthy rats. The result? The rats started showing signs of depression. That is just a stark, incredible illustration of how directly our gut bacteria can influence behavior. So let's look at a real-world example of this connection that affects every single one of us: sleep. Turns out the quality of your rest might have a whole lot more to do with the health of your gut than you ever thought. I mean, just chew on this fact for a second. Around 90%, 90, of your body's serotonin is produced in your gut. You know, serotonin, the famous feel-good chemical, that's also the essential building block for melatonin, the sleep hormone. Yeah, your gut bacteria are basically running the factory that your brain depends on for a good night's sleep. And what we're finding is that there's a pretty clear divide. You've got your good sleep bacteria, like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. They help produce stuff that promotes relaxation. Then you've got your poor sleep bacteria, like Clostridium, which tend to promote inflammation and just generally stir up trouble. And this can build into a really nasty, vicious cycle. You have one bad night of sleep, which messes with your microbial diversity. That allows those inflammatory bacteria to thrive, which then harms your gut. And of course, a damaged gut makes it even harder to get good sleep. It's a negative feedback loop that can be really tough to break. The science here is just evolving so incredibly fast. A brand new study is proposing an even more direct link. It suggests that actual physical fragments of bacteria from your gut might be traveling all the way up to your brain to help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. I mean, that's a mind-blowing idea. Okay, so from sleep, let's turn to an even deeper aspect of mental health: depression. We absolutely know the gut is involved, but as you're about to see, the story is a bit more complex, and it might not even start where you think. So the research shows a really clear pattern here. People with depression often have lower levels of beneficial bacteria and higher levels of the pro-inflammatory kind. This imbalance helps create chronic inflammation, this state of constant stress on the body, which we know is a major factor in the development of depression. But here's a thought. What if the gut isn't the origin story? What if the imbalance that contributes to depression actually begins somewhere else entirely in the body's vast microbiome? And here it is, the twist. Recent research has found a powerful two-way link between depression and the bacteria living in your mouth. That's right, your oral health could be directly influencing your mental health. So how does this work? Well, poor oral health, like gum disease, creates that same chronic inflammation we keep talking about. It can let harmful bacteria slip into the bloodstream, it can affect stress hormones, and of course, depression itself can lead to neglecting your oral hygiene, which just creates this awful downward spiral. Okay, after all that, you might be feeling like you're just at the mercy of your microbes. But the good news, the really good news, is that you are not. So let's talk about how you can take back control and become a better caretaker for your own inner ecosystem. It really starts with food. You can actively feed your good bacteria with probiotic foods like yogurt and kefir. You can give them prebiotic foods like garlic, onions, and oats, which are basically fertilizer for your good microbes. And fermented foods like kimchi are fantastic. At the very same time, you want to avoid those ultra-processed foods, which tend to just feed the bad guys. And it goes way beyond diet. Simple lifestyle habits can make a huge difference. Regular exercise boosts your microbial diversity. Prioritizing sleep helps break that negative loop we talked about. Managing your stress is key. And as we just learned, consistent oral hygiene isn't just for your teeth, it is for your brain. So if there's one big idea to take away from all of this, it's this. You aren't just one organism. You're a superorganism. You're a walking, talking ecosystem of human and microbial cells all working together. And taking care of your health means taking care of the whole community. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. The next time you sit down for a meal or you're deciding whether to brush your teeth before bed, just pause for a second and ask yourself, who am I really feeding? Your health and your mood might just depend on the answer. Thanks for joining this explanation.